What good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I hope you duelists are staying safe and warm out there, especially if you're dealing with this winter storm. Texans, drive safely. And there are some blackouts happening here or there being reported. I plan to stream at 7 o'clock Central Friday like usual. That should be the only reason I wouldn't. Let's go ahead and get into today's market watch, starting with the Starlight reveals. They look amazing, and I'm gonna tell you, don't buy most of them right now, I would think. Illusion of Chaos, very nice. The Dark Charmer, looking amazing. Not a waifu, but Konami went with it anyways. I've got to applaud them for that. The Dark Magicians isn't my favorite import Starlight ever, but it does fit the set very well. The Blue Eyes Jet could age amazingly. Then you have the Dino Mommy archetype going on. TCG player pre-sales are still pretty dang abysmal, except they do have the Blue Eyes Jet up a bit competitively early. I feel like that's going to be one of those $210, $250 Starlights before too long, though, but that is just speculation. The market can move in different ways. And looking at the set versus it being busted open, where is the value? Is it in that special Dark Magician that we still don't know the ratio of, that seems to be not maybe even the one per case? And we're looking around at the other cards. Guardian Chimera feels so overhyped to me. I asked my stream last night, and the stream unanimously said, at the prices they are being set at, feels overhyped to them too. Illusion of Chaos is also up there, but do not fear, Tier 0 now has their pre-sales up. Free worldwide shipping over £50. Remember, in the top corner drag down, you can change to Australian, Canadian, pounds, euros, etc. and use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. But still, looking at their Starlight prices, I'd probably be avoiding a lot of these. I always put my audience before my sponsors, and looking through here, the Dark Charmer at 400, while it is one of the best Charmers hands down, that's like only the Water Charmer started out like really that strong. Win had to get up there after a while. The Blue Eyes Jet at 400, you can also get it cheaper on TCG Player right now. And the Dinomorphia at 270, while there is a lot of interest in that deck, I have so many people asking me if I think the deck is good. I think it's playable after another set, but good? I don't think it's going to take down regionals, YCSs. I mean, I do think that you can play with it to a degree, but you're living on the edge, purposely lowering your life points, while regular dinosaurs just seem better, if I'm honest. Now, looking through the rest of the set, I do think long terms this box can age very well, especially with that nice Dark Magician special chase inside. The look of the box is amazing. It goes with the DM era theme, but early on, the money is a little head-scratching, right? Like Illusion of Chaos, they have it at the top of the set over here at Tier 0 at just $54, so we don't have a card worth the box outside of Mega Chase Starlights. Tier 0 not being greedy, ripping this open, just trying to get their value back. Guardian Chimera at 47, where it's still being tried to have sales at $77 here, and people are parting with their money a little more expensively, yet I still wouldn't be doing that. Around 48, that is a lot better if you're committing to this card early and you think that something has to be worth the value of a box. But we've seen with certain sets, like Dawn of Majesty, there doesn't necessarily end up a card worth the value of the box out the gate. Aluber had to age extremely well. Then we look at the Blue Eyes Jet at 27. That's a little higher than Card Brawlers had it at, but they do have that international base. I still think it's around the $21, $22 start and might start to fall out from there, but we will see. They have the Sword Soul Sinister Sovereign at $25, where TCG Player is trying to charge what on this again? Just ridiculous $60+ That's a very nice price to settle in early. We have Sales Ban at just 16. We have the Flunderies Ultra. They are speculating on it. And to be fair, over in the UK, EU, the Flunder stuff seems a bit more expensive than in the US. They have it priced early at 14, and I would think this is one of the cards that people would be after a lot more. But looking through the DDD stuff, not commanding a lot of early pricing. They're even cheaper than Card Brawlers at $680 there. And just tons of the Libromancer stuff also cheap. Geek Boy at just $1360. I do think that's a pretty darn good deal, especially for pre-sales on these. Libromancer has a bright future and will probably get hype heading into the next set. Will Konami let us down? I don't think so. B-Trooper actually performed really well, and they seem on the nose with this archetype to start out too. It's very competent early, and I want to see people in the lab with it, but it does need a little something extra. But it's not a bad thing to get. All these ultra rares are so cheap and could age very well for themselves, depending. And then looking down through everything else, it's cheap early. Free international shipping if you get with your teammates, because it would be hard, right, if you just want a couple of these lower ultras to actually hit that 50 pounds for the free international shipping. So I would work with friends maybe to place an order if you're interested in odds and ends early, but a lot of stuff might be worth waiting on. The question is how much of this will get ripped open versus people speculating and trying to hold it back sealed, because that seems like where the true value with the set sadly is, as more of a collectible than a set in itself. Which is Strike is getting a lot of traction as people look over at Grand Creators. They see Griffin as a negate, and this is starting to counterbalance that a little. This card has gotten so much hype so many times to never really appear in the metagame, but once again people are catching onto this card saying, wait a minute, it might finally do something here. Let me know what you guys think about Witch's Strike. Is it finally its time to prove itself, or is this something like Retort where it just has failed buyout after failed buyout and just hype and smoke from the community? Let me know. It is so good on paper, yet it often gets stuffed. Will the adventure archetype finally give this a place to shine? Also looking through a card that counters that, Red Reboot is picking up on sales for that secret rare version, and it's the nicest version. It can act as your second Harpy's Feather Duster. Credit to my Discord for saying that line. But seriously, people underestimate their one-ofs, and Red Reboot, with Eldritch getting so much hype this format from a third skill drain, is a great tool in your arsenal, and the highest rarity is just around $4. Actually, $3. Tons of them are at $3. I would get this sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd be buying already. I feel like, just like the highest rarity Called by the Grave, this is a great tool to have in its highest rarity. Looking at the other versions, you have the Ultra Out of Dude, you have the Super Original, and a Common and a Structure deck. They're all very affordable if you just want a cheap budget version and want to sit on a playset in case it ever does come off the list. But this card is so unfair. I do not think it should ever be at more than one. In fact, I hope it goes to 0 one day. But we're starting to get into Bandless Talk instead of market talk. Mistworm getting bought out for the dual terminal hard, and a lot of other versions, the Legendary Collection 5Ds version, easy to make this appear. The Hidden Arsenal version teetering on $10 here, and going up sharply after that, actually already up $13+. I don't have any confirmation that this is in Hidden Arsenal Season 1 reprinted. I don't remember the leaks having this or not, so let me know in the comment section down below if you've seen something with that, if it's commonly known, or no, that hasn't been revealed yet. But boy, this could just get reprinted for the memorable card it is. Maybe it just completely whiffs, though. People going hard in on this, as Time Wizard format is causing a lot of very specific buyouts. Royal Oppression also, I didn't know this one was so high. The DT having a huge buyout. People love their cards that say no and no fun. There are Oppression gadgets, you know, Cole 40 Squad. He actually topped with that a couple times. Man, I didn't know every single version of this was that much money, and I feel like I've said that before with this card, but it just keeps going up. Grand Creators having some fallout here, finally, as the adventure stuff does get stocked up, and I think the East Coast is seeing some of their shipments here, but not everybody necessarily. Water Enchantress is down back towards 55. That's down. Original pre-sales were near 40, and the Rite of Armaseer is around 50. I think a card that's heavily slept on, I actually played it versus somebody doing more of the engine and deck, is Fateful Adventure at $3. Imagine if this deck does get hit similar to the OCG in some fashion in the future, and you need to thicken the engine slash deck. I feel like this is a card that has potential to spike later on. It's an actual searcher for the deck. Once returned, the first time a monster you control with an equipped card would be destroyed. It's not. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During your main phase, you can add one monster that mentions Adventure token from your deck to your hand, then send one card from your hand to the graveyard. If a monster is normal or special summoned, you're able to take an equipped spell that mentions Adventure token from your deck and either add it to your hand or equip it to an Adventure token you control. I think it's super solid. I think it's very good in terms of actual play for the engine and deck, and being an ultra rare in the set feels a little slept on, but maybe it just never pans out. Ban lists are speculation, to be fair, and I'm getting into too much ban list talk. That's way off in the future considering this was just released. But the engine is very powerful. People are already calling for emergency bans on Sutff because of it, and it is a big conversation in the market. Tons of people are asking me if I think the Torrential Tribute is too cheap. At $80, I do really like the card, and it goes up sharply towards 100 quickly. People are buying this at a pretty solid rate of sales. I think that it will be one of the cards to go up. I've said that before. I see this being around $120 eventually. It's a nice looking alternative version of a card for GOAT format where First Ed Ultra is really the only thing that's rivaling this, and it's technically a higher rarity on the scale, although people would probably respect the First Ed Ultra a little more. And Solemn Strike really lagging behind and going for cheaper than I thought it would. I thought this would be $120, yet it's down, starting to go sub 80. So some awesome deals still available, thanks to a lot of people's attention going towards, you know, the Adventure Token engine, but people are picking up on that if you actually look at the sales rate. Inzektor Gigamantis did not get reprinted in Grand Creators and is still extremely low on quantities for the ultra rare. I just want to say, looking at the sales rate, looking at people buying out light plays and near mints once again here, because you can tell that it is pretty much a buyout. Guys, at this price, the ultimate rare is just a couple more bucks. Grab yourselves an ultimate rare when it's just sitting there like that. Although, to be fair, I guess that's only one. So let's see where the next deal is. 25, that's still 7 more bucks. It'll fall out less, and is probably the better grab at this point than the Ultra if you really did not go and grab yours and have to play Inzektors. But all of this could really chill out, as I don't see Inzektors doing too much from this. It's that hype, the thing is here, gotta have it, no, this is a good buy, people will be needing this kind of thing that people do, and then you could see it chill out from there instead of actually get sales rates. Now, Time Wizard format, we've been talking about it a lot more. Test Tiger has moon rocketed for the ultimate, and it's one of the nicest ultimates ever made. Usually I don't like the foiling all over the freaking card unless patterns do well for it. This is one of those ones that has amazing patterns with it, and you can tell that the market price versus the disappeared listings, Unlim lowest 250 near mint, first edition at 400. This was coveted back in the day. It was a $20 ultimate for the longest time, and it is just so great looking. You do have the secret rares. A lot of people, if you don't know, anything secret rare from Legendary Collection 2 around Gladiator Beast has a little bit of worth on the market, and Test Tiger is no exception, and the original Ultras are up there in price too. In fact, every single Test Tiger is like $5. Even the commons. I didn't know that, genuinely. Wow, even the gold rare. Kind of cool. And finally, looking over at a brand new statue being released, we have, I believe this is Mega House doing this, if I'm not mistaken, the Dark Side of Dimensions Kaiba. It is Mega House, looking very amazing. So I got to the cards. I get to bring a figure to your guys' attention. It's around $400. It's very sizable for that $400 though. It's got Smug Kaiba looking great, as Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. They're not up for order yet. Orders will go on sale soon, and that's before international shipping. But man, does that look awesome. DM Boomer excitement, I know. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know what you think about the changes on the market, as well as Battle of Chaos pre-sales. It looks like Tier 0 really being close, tied in to Card Brawler's numbers. The owner actually hit me up and we're like, Card Brawlers kind of hit this out of the park, and it looks like Inspired maybe around their prices. Very, very close and competitive on many cards, except kind of the Blue Eyes Jet, and then the Starlights, very expensive. I'd avoid those early. Sorry, Tier 0. Gotta put the audience first. Thank you for watching, everybody.